for not only a political party, but victory for the democracy and freedom of this country.
The protest began at Obra Sports at the Kwame Nkrumah interchange, one of Accra's busiest intersections. By mid-morning, the crowd, clad in red and black, had swelled as it moved through Farisco traffic lights area, heading towards the Trades Union Congress headquarters. By 11 a.m., the demonstrators, accompanied by party leaders, placards, and chants demanding electoral transparency, were advancing through central Accra, calling for urgent reforms from the Electoral Commission.
He can never tiff us. I say no Mahama, no Ghana. Look, if you don't know where you know come, then what? Look, look, 2020, we will see 3 results now. What am I? Every results now, I could find all the winning. Why it be so? We just machines in the home. You know, you taxpayers, they are machines in the mouth. You better show them. They are possible. 2024, they never. No Mahama, no Ghana.
Right. The NDC has raised alarm over what they describe as significant anomalies in the voters' register following a recent registration exercise. The party alleges that the register is smeared by missing names, duplicated voter identification numbers, and unauthorized transfers of voters between constituencies.
Have you listened to HEADMAN? Have you listened to Postman Asari? Have you listened to Samuel Tete? They don't engender credibility and trustworthiness with their behavior. I mean, when an electoral commission chair can look you in the face and tell the media that the NDC, the biggest political party in this country, is a threat to democracy, you think that that person can be trusted by anybody from our side to conduct a free and fair election, especially when you find the issues that we found in the register? Clearly, none of them has carried themselves in a manner that is close to what the manner in which Afarijan carried himself.
And we have seen some discrepancies. We are asking the Electoral Commission to avail the register for possible systems and forensic audit. We insist that must be done. So far, the Electoral Commission is only telling us that they have corrected without providing us evidence. We want to see what they have corrected. Okay. Why are they evasive? If they have nothing to hide, why are they running away from this?
It became contentious for men and women of the Ghana Police Service and some protesters. As the protests continued, a delegation from the NDC officials proceeded to Parliament and the offices of the Electoral Commission to formally present petitions demanding a forensic audit and greater transparency in the Electoral Commission's operations. This protest is the latest in a series of actions taken by the NDC to challenge the management of the voters' register ahead of the 2024 general elections. For now, all eyes remain on the Electoral Commission and the steps it will take in response to the mounting pressure from the opposition. Stanley Koblako for Pan African News.
Welcome to the review segment of the show. Many thanks for joining us. Those of you who watched the newspaper headlines, thank you so much for coming back. Here we are going to be discussing a few issues. There are a few of them, a few topics that we have tabled for today's discussion. It appears that over the past 2-3 days, the issues we've been discussing are the same, and it's because they are very, very important issues in relation to Galamsey, issues in relation to the Electoral Commission of Ghana, happenings in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, and we are also going to be looking at our football pitches. There's a directive from the presidency, and of course the president has relieved the boss of the National Sports Authority of his duties, and so a lot of questions are being asked as to why the sports minister, who has been at the helm for a longer period, hasn't been sacked. But that's going to be one of the topics that we are discussing. We'll start our conversations in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger because they are to launch a biometric passport and a new alliance. Thousands join demo against EC. Galamsey fight, government labor meeting fruitful, information minister discloses. And finally, Ghana's poor football pitches, sports authority boss sacked. Please, your messages are very important. Your opinions are vital. We hold or we cherish your views, and so please share your views with me. I'll be more than glad to hear from you. Send in your messages. Please employ decorum. Do not insult anybody. If you disagree, just state why you disagree. Don't insult anybody, I beg you. Just state your opinions decorously, and I'll be more than glad to read your message in the course of the show. I've been joined by Dr. Ramsey Yunusa of the Movement for Change. Doc, good morning.
Good morning, Bless.
I trust you're fine.
Well, Bless, I'm just being stoical, waiting for the D-Day to be able to kick this nepotic, clueless, incompetent, and reckless government out of power. In fact, the worst government in our Fourth Republic.
Right. Also, Saka Salia of the New Patriotic Party has joined us. Saka.
Yeah, Bless.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All these documents you are bringing out, hey, it's not small. There's no small arguments you are coming. Let me see.
Where is your cameraman?
No. I want to just show it. Let me.
That's it.
So that is
Dr. Mahmoud Baumia.
Dr. Baumia outlines achievements in Zongo communities.
Exactly.
Okay, so there's a book on that, and I see, educational infrastructure and
never in the history of this country as the Zongo. Had the focus like this.
Vocational training, institutional toilet, mechanized water system, street lights,
astroturfs,
community support, astroturfs.
Yes.
Okay. And then the other one is the NPP manifesto. I want one, Saka.
This is a self-led leadership, bold solution.
So I want one. I have the NDCs. I have the movement. I have the movement for change. It's high time you gave me.
But this one is a bold solution.
Yes, I have the movement for changes manifesto.
Yes.
I have the NDCs. It's left with the MPP. So please try.
NDC, there is nothing in there.
Try and get me one of these.
It
looks nice. It looks beautiful too.
Yeah.
Please, camera.
This is nothing in NDC.
Selfless leadership, bold solutions for jobs and businesses. It's nice. It looks nice.
Yeah.
But you can't judge a book by its cover.
If you go inside, it's
it
even
looks
nicer.
nice, but you can't judge a book by its cover.
I said if you go inside, it's even nicer.
Maybe I'll have to get into it to see what it truly entails. Saka, please try and get me one of these.
No problem. I'll get you one.
So, without further ado, let's get into our very first topic for conversation. This is an issue we discussed yesterday, but it's important that we talk about it again. Junta led West African states to launch new passport. 3 West African countries run by military juntas will be launching a new biometric passport in the coming days as part of their withdrawal from the wider regional bloc ECOWAS. Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, whose military leaders took over power in series of coups between 2020 and 2023, announced their plan to leave the bloc in January. Following the coup, West African countries sanctioned the juntas, aiming to push them to quickly restore civilian rule. But the 3 nations that now form the Alliance of Sahel States have so far resisted the calls, opting to cement their alliance. In the coming days, a new biometric passport will be put into circulation with the aim of harmonizing travel documents in our common area, Malian junta leader Colonel Assimi Goïta said in a televised address on Sunday. He said they are planning to launch a joint service that would promote a harmonious dissemination of information in our 3 states. Burkina Faso had earlier Burkina Faso had earlier revealed its decision to launch a new biometric passport without the ECOWAS logo. It remains unclear how the new passport will affect the travel of their nationals to other ECOWAS states where they enjoyed visa-free movement as holders of a 15-nation regional bloc. And also, they are saying that these are steps, or this is one of the steps to freeing themselves entirely of the colonialist. Interesting development. When this started, I think ECOWAS took it on the lighter surface. I'm sure they didn't know that it would degenerate and then get to this point. When I think it was in Niger or so that the coup happened, and then they said they wanted to go and then reinstate Bazoum. Tinubu, who had just come into power for the first time occupying the presidency, he said that he actually considered the decision of a military invasion in Niger in order to forestall democratic governance or to reinstate the ousted Bazoum. But a lot has been happening, and these people seem to be hell-bent on entirely freeing themselves of ECOWAS, and they do not want to have anything to do with the regional bloc again. Is this the beginning of an entire disintegration of the West African bloc? Let me start with you, Dr. Ramsey.
Good morning to you, Bless, and good morning to the good people of Ghana, and good morning to my colleague Saka. Bless, the happenings in ECOWAS, I didn't see this coming. Right, I thought that by now, looking at the experience of the bloc since the Abuja Declaration, I'm sure we would have come to an amicable solution as to how we can resolve our differences and enhance our cohesion and regional integration as West African states. But unfortunately, it has happened at a time where, you know, geopolitics, global politics has been heightened between the West and then the pro-communist countries, Russia and then China. And we all know clearly that the West African sub-region has been a terrain where these two dominant powers are actually showing off their Cold War tactics in a subtle way by influencing and creating some form of strategic alliance to undermine the other's interests. And Russia is clearly behind these three dominant countries that have now created this Sahel alliance. And of course, the Anglophone part of West Africa and some Francophone countries are still aligned with the French and then the American government. And I think that looking at, I mean, from the initial onset of the coup, we were all, I mean, critics of the way and manner in which things happen in these various countries. But it will beg you to know that, Bless, Niger is actually doing so well, is one of the fastest growing economies in Africa after the coup. And this was as a result of the renegotiation of the uranium deal between the Nigerian government and then that of the French government, that were buying these uranium resources for little to nothing. And Niger was on the losing end. But since they came into office, they have done so well for their people. They've reinstated a lot of pro-Nigerian policies that really meets the needs of the people. And this has driven their economy, that today they are one of the fastest, largest growing economies in Africa. And I think that ECOWAS should not lay back. We should still engage these three dominant partners. We have a lot in common. As West African countries, we were once part of the Ghana Empire, right? Yeah. So we have a lot in common. We are still brothers and sisters, and I believe that a split in this sense would further destabilize the unity and harmony that we share as West African states. I think that, yes, they are bitter about the sanctions and the way and manner in which some of our leaders in the ECOWAS bloc handled the issue. I think that there's a bit of hypocrisy in the way and manner these things were handled. If you look at the clear classical example of Côte d'Ivoire, Ouattara, the case of Ouattara. Ouattara was not supposed to have a third term. Do you remember?
Yes.
But he amended the constitution, which gave him a chance to run for office for the third time.
ECOWAS was silent.
ECOWAS was silent. The Guinea-Bissau president, similar. Yeah. It was only Yahya Jammeh that was not lucky. I'm sure maybe he was not in their good books, but if he had strategic alliances with these heads of these ECOWAS countries, I am sure he would have also gotten away with it. So I think that there is some form of hypocrisy in the manner in which ECOWAS really resolves issues. They have to stick to the founding principles of ECOWAS, right? And leave away their internal interests and selfish interests aside. And that would enhance the cohesion and try and mitigate these issues that we see. Yes, we do not support any military uprising or coup. I don't think that it is constitutional. I don't think that it's the right form of governance. But of course, if there is a need to remove a corrupt, nepotic leader to reinstate a form of governance for the people, by the people, and of the people, then of course, bless, that is in line and it's in the best practice. But if we sit here and we allow these things to go on, African leaders currently are not really living up to the expectation of their people. Right? I can go back to the days of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Sekou Toure, Thomas Sankara. These were leaders that were selfless. These were leaders that would die for their people. These were leaders that created internal systems and structures that resisted oppression from the Western countries and influence. But today, our leaders are just puppets of the West. When our president went to the US, what did he say about our brothers and sisters in Burkina Faso? It was a total betrayal, because as an African brother, you ought to hold the principle of positive neutrality when engaging with, I would say, a former colonial master, or a person that has the interests of Africa in a manner in which they don't want to see us rise. But the president went there and sold out Burkina Faso. That created a lot of diplomatic issues between Ghana and Burkina Faso, which was not the right way to go about it. But here we are. I believe that the leadership of ECOWAS should really stand up and rise up to the expectations of their people. Yes, it's sad that in our current phase as a bloc, this is happening to us. But I am hopeful that when we engage these three countries, right, and try and meet their interests, and also see how best they can also meet the interests of ECOWAS and adhere to the principles, the founding principles of ECOWAS, I'm sure that the issue would be able to be resolved.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Ramsey. You too, your thoughts matter. Make sure you send in your messages. I'll be more than glad to receive them. The text line will be displayed on your screen. Make sure you send a message. Also, we are live on YouTube. Join us at YouTube.com/. youtube.com/Pan-African Television, Facebook as well. So alternatively, you can just jump on Facebook. We are streaming live there. Share your messages with me. I'll read them in the course of the show. But let me now turn my attention to Saka Salia of the New Patriotic Party, also gauge his thoughts on happenings in Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, the new decision that they have taken to entirely do away with the ECOWAS passport. They are having a passport of their own without the ECOWAS logo. Saka.
Yeah, blessed. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Let me also use this opportunity to say good morning to Pan-Africa TV listeners or watchers. Good morning to yourself and my co-panelists. And it's good morning especially to the MPP fraternity, to our flag bearer and then the president. And let me also take this opportunity to congratulate Kwame Owusu-Danso, KOD, for his nomination and confirmation. Or is it nomination? Yeah. As the running mate to Alan Chairman team. And then also congratulate Bernard Mona, my brother Bernard Mona, for being elected as the flag bearer for the PNC. I think they are young and the future portends well for them. I wish them the best. But ultimately, we all know that this is Bawumia's year. There is nothing anybody can do. You can do your best, but your best can never be good enough to take the shine of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. This is his time. And no mortal can take that away from him. So, in this regard, let me say a big good morning to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Undoubtedly, the next president of Ghana, because he has the bold solution to the problems that confront this nation. Yes, the issue of the Sahel alliance. I am an avowed Democrat. Anything that will democratize, anything that will take away the democratic tenets of any country, I'm against it. And I remember when the Sahel, the Burkina Faso matter came, even Guinea, Niger, and Mali. I gave my 100% support to whatever action ECOWAS was taking. Because why? I mean, anybody can give any reason having to overthrow a constitutionally elected government. Anybody can do that. Even the most efficient, the most competent, the most lovable democratic government, you can still get reasons to overthrow those governments. So, for reasons they are abound at any time. There is no any country without blemish or without problems. And that's the reason why constitutionally, that's the reason why we have constitutionalism actually. And there are checks and balances. There are ways of ensuring that if government is not doing the right thing, there are redresses. But somebody says somewhere, and you hear some apologies saying that government should have been overthrown by military junta, when indeed all of us have berated the past when military takeover used to be the order of the day in Africa. The setback of Africa has been as a result of military takeovers that has, derailed our development and ensure the pace of our development is slower than anticipated. So when these nations from the Sahel decided to overthrow their constitutionally elected government, I was completely against it, and I'm still against it today. Because you cannot say it is the will of the people. the will of the people is the constitution. That is the grand norm of which all others powers emanate from. And then you say that, oh, I don't care about whatever grand norm. I mean, the Kelton theory of law tells us where powers are gotten from. Then one or two friends will meet and say that, oh, I don't like the way this government is going. I don't like the look of the president. His eyes are these look some way. So let's go and overthrow. Then you go and overthrow, and then after that, then they go and then hatch. They hatch or manufacture reasons. And as for reasons, today, I can give you reasons why every government in the world can be overthrown. So what they are doing now, by this biometric whatever that they want to do, I mean, it's freedom of association anyway, but I see it as, as being in furtherance of their inordinate desire to destabilize West Africa. Because if we want West Africa to grow, we rather need more. We rather need more members. We need to grow our population. About 400 million. It's still not enough. The 15 nations of West Africa states have a market of 400 million. Then you, the three of you, I decided to disintegrate it from smaller blocks. That will further lower our bargaining power in the eyes of, international community. I completely disagree with what they are doing. We all have common problems. Burkina Faso, Niger, I mean, their problems are akin to that of Ghana, Mali, Nigeria, and all others. So why can't we come together? And one of our problems was what? Destabilizations. Because, no, look, we have had a situation from 1960 when almost all African countries were scrambling to become independent and all that. Immediately after that, you saw that almost all the other countries were being destabilized through coup d'etats. We have gone, with the ravages of time, we have come to a stage where we believe that coup d'etat should be a thing of the past. We have also said, I mean, Nanadu said all the time that domestic tranquility leads to what? Economic prosperity. If within your country there is no peace, there is no way you can even sit down and think of how to develop your nation. And these people decided that they will continue to destabilize their various nations, get support from some disgruntled international bodies, and then after that dismember our united front as West Africa. And then you still see some people still support them, biometric or whatever. I think that because they have freedom to do association, but you see, freedom in itself is good, but it is not always freedom that is good, especially when you are doing it on the back of disintegration of a larger body.
A larger body that does not have their interest.
No. Like
that
even the other
to not have their interest.
You see, what ECOWAS, I cannot say ECOWAS is above board. I mean that they don't have any problem, or one cannot criticize them. But it's a work in progress.
For how long?
It's a work in progress. Other bodies, other blocks have also gotten their problems. Currently, as I'm speaking, I sat here and I talked about the fact that the Arab League is not doing enough when it comes to Palestinian, the fight for Palestinian states. They are not doing enough. It's a problem that all of us can talk about. But that does not mean that they should be disintegrated, because once you disintegrate, the problem becomes worse. You see, instead of strengthening ECOWAS, because look, we talk about the fact that some presidents wanted to actually, extend their stay and all those things. ECOWAS talked about it. Just that, you see, the problem with ECOWAS was they are like, they don't bite enough. They don't bite enough. And for me, ensuring that they bite, they live up to expectation, they walk their talk, they walk their talk, is the way to go. And how do we ensure that we ECOWAS become as formidable as, look, we have all this Burkina Faso and all those people doing coup d'etat because they know ECOWAS cannot do anything. They know. Because when ECOWAS threatened to, the military way, if they had the know-how or the wherewithal to actually, remove these people and ensure that they bring back the elected presidents, the ousted president, these people knowing very well that ECOWAS has the capability, the fear of God would have been in them, and therefore they would not even have dared to do so. That's the reason why when ECOWAS, came to Accra here to announce that military intervention was their last resort, I was happy. So that they can put the fear of God and that will serve as deterrent. But alas, they could not. And it emboldened these people to go, and you won't be surprised that the emboldenment of these people can even lead to other countries' juntas taking over. And especially when you have former presidents as reckless as John Dramani Mahama telling us that if it was in his regime, the military would have taken over the power. Has military ever taken power ever since we set the Fourth Republic? And which government in the Fourth Republic is as corrupt as the NDC government? I mean, the evidence is shown in the number of people that has been incarcerated, that have been found to be corrupt, and the court of competent jurisdiction have found them being corrupt or or other charges that were preferred against them. This is the NDC. Currently, as we are speaking, some of them are fugitives, running away from justice. And John Dramani Mahama is not talking about and bringing them to come and face justice. As I was saying, where is he? Is he not being incarcerated? Is he not being convicted of corruption? And instead of the NDC talking about it, look, I think that, some people think that they are more intelligent than others. Some people think Ghanaians have short memories. And some people think that because they get the opportunity once upon a time to be presidents, intelligence resides in them and them only. That's my problem. If not, if you are talking about the most corrupt government in the history of this republic, John Dramani Mahama cannot escape. And to even try to let a coup d'etat look, sexy to the military and invite them that, oh, please, why don't you remove these people from power? When democracy...
But he didn't say that.
I mean, that is what it means.
That is your inferred...
That is what it means.
That is your inferred meaning.
That is what it means.
He said, if
because why are you saying that, illegality would have...
He's not asking, he's not asking
maybe
it would have
happened because... Maybe they would have overthrown his government because he's weak. Maybe they would have overthrown his government because his government used to be corrupt. Maybe they would have overthrown his government because the security apparatus was not robust enough to ensure or to repel rebellions and all those things. So I think that this man should not come anywhere near power again, because his utterances is on becoming of a former president. Yes, and it is part, what he's doing is guarding coup d'etats. He's guarding people to engage
this is
in
all
the
about
nefarious
Mali.
act of coup d'etat. Please. I'm serious. Last week somebody said that, oh, why am I always serious? I'll be serious because if we still have people like John Dramani Mahama lurking around the bend, inciting soldiers, making incendiary statements, and creating the impression that he's a new person. And you remember, this is not. Whatever that you say, it is not only heard in Ghana. The whole of West Africa is hearing you, and you are telling them that, oh, whatever that you are doing in Guinea, or in Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, you have done the right thing, because when you agree, go and overthrow the government. And I think that it's condemnable, and every discerning Ghanaian who hold in high esteem the tenets of democracy should condemn John Dramani Mahama in no uncertain terms. And I also believe that what is happening in Burkina Faso, Niger, and that of Mali, I think that they should just stop it and let us all come together as a bloc so that we can foster unity and ensure the rapid accelerated development of our bloc.
Right, thank you very much, Saka Sali. Ambassador Sampiale just joined us. We are far behind time, but I'd also allow him to also share his thoughts. I'll also allow Ambassador Sampiale to share his thoughts on happenings in Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali. Ambassador, good morning.
Well, Kwame.
Bless.
Bless. For me, the greatest news in Africa today is not Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, because it has shown beyond all reasonable doubt that they have picked themselves together where the ECOWAS had failed woefully. And the dangerous attempts by ECOWAS to say that they were going to put military armed forces together to go and suppress or quell their demonstration, their coup d'etat, actually got them to crystallize into where we are now. See, it's gone beyond just placates like what you are doing, that you want them to come back. You cannot force them to come back. The people have gone beyond that. They are issuing a common passport, right? And in diplomatic circles, when you are issuing a passport of your own, you are attaining statehood. Are you following what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So the project of Ghana, Guinea, Mali, which we were not able to consolidate, is what has happened. And to Ghana, we should stop talking down on the program, that project. You know why? We have expanded our ports. We did the railway system from Tema to Mpakadan, envisaging that we're going to be the gateway into the Sahel. Last week I told you that now the people have started using the Algerian ports. If you go to Tema now, you will not find one of the articulated trucks there, which is an economic blow or effect of what they are doing to our economy. Are you understand what I'm saying? So you have a whole railway project, you have taken a loan to do the railway project. Now, instead of coaches on it, we bought buses, 2 buses, and one of them is said to have had an accident. That railway line remained unpaid for. And for a long time, if it's not used, it's going to be destroyed. The loan will be paid. You know, because we, you know that Mali, Burkina, Niger, they were all coming down to port to take their goods now. Now they found out that if they come together, it's easier, safer for them to go to Algeria. That is one. But for me, the greatest news that has happened in Africa, and which you are not highlighting enough, is that a young journalist, a young former rap singer, a young lawyer. See, I'm not from the Afronto party, but I recognize good things in other people. That's why Saka is still my son. But I know that I can change him. You see, that is the greatest news that you are not highlighting, and which hurts me. And I can put today I'm not in the heart, but I have put my heart down because I know Kwame has a future in himself and for this country. I know from my experience. And that is what every youth should watch. You know, I've seen a colleague journalist trying to undermine the choice of Alan. And I called him and said, be careful. Don't just cut your own tongue and chew it, because that's no fish. You see, at least Kwame, as a vice president, will not turn himself into a jackal joker, dancing like a jackal. He will not. Kwame, as a vice president, will talk sense. I'm saying so because, you know, the last petition he sent to the SFO, you remember?
Yes, the Office of the Special
Prosecutor.
Yeah.
was about what? The sports stadium.
Yes.
So the Ministry of Sports and their use of the All Africa Games.
Yeah.
And I read the content. I said, "Gosh, this is a Ghanaian." I don't support Afro-Fanta, but I can see the future of Kwame. And that is the news I thought that as an African Pan-Africanist, I should talk about instead of a project that is beyond our hands. And unfortunately, you see, my son Saka, you see, I always tell you, the problem I have is that I have to be there to defend you. In all these things that you come on air, forcefully angry, you are saying, because your mother sitting in the house said, that is not my son Saka. Today, you are saying that somebody is so corrupt that he should not be lurking around. When the corruption, Mahama, I'm talking to his reference to Mahama. Doc, you are a researcher. What is the corruption perception index since 2017? Mahama said, look, my bank account is ADB, not so, and my balance, please, I'm giving it to you. Which African head of state have done that? As if you have been, what is the word to use? Programmed to always say Mahama is corrupt. They stand up, Mahama is corrupt. What we have seen in this country, in terms of corruption, see, today as I speak, you are a young man, your son must be in the junior high school. We don't even know when the secondary schools are going to be reopened. Parents don't know when secondary schools are going to be reopened.
They are in school, some of them are in school.
Yeah, some of them are in school. But the new ones, what are they going to do?
Oh, they will go to school.
When? When you were, Saka,
I said they will go to
when
school.
You pass
so that's corruption.
Yeah, when you pass, for corruption, we don't talk about it anymore. For corruption, we don't talk about it. And this time we have finished, we have gone beyond
perception.
This time we have finished from perception to corruption itself. We have come to stealing. And we have passed stealing into state capture. So don't stay in those boxed ideas of somebody is corrupt, perception corrupt. But the perception corruption evidence index in this country is that Muhammad's West is your best.
No, that's
evidential.
That's perception.
But in reality,
it's not real.
In reality, Muhammad says that I am not corrupt. This is my accounts. So you have evidence of Muhammad's corruption. Show it and prove it.
I will show them today.
So for those tuned mentality, I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in getting a young man like Kwame, come up to serve his country and to serve Africa. That is my beef. You understand what I'm saying? That's my beef. And every day I come here, I will not stop talking about Kwame Osu-Damso because I see a bright future in him. And I was thinking that my son, him, sitting here right at my right side, will see the light I'm seeing as an old man.
Oh, you came late, so you don't know what we discussed.
I'm saying that you will see the light.
We already discussed Kwame.
I'm saying that not only discussing, but joining him.
Oh, to do what?
But I think that when I turned to my left and I looked at Saka, I think he's beginning to change. You can see the butterflies on his shirt. You can see the butterflies on his shirt. So I'm sure Saka is beginning to change. He's realizing that the truth is right.
This is visual as research.
Do you have trees too?
Trees?
Yeah, do you have trees?
Oh no, we have trees. There's yellow ones. Do you
have flowers?
Yellow ones.
Do you have flowers?
We will pollinate the flowers to bear fruits.
So I am always going to, whether you permit me or not, anytime I come on this set, I wouldn't stop talking about that singular, unique choice made by my political opponent, Alan. That is the best choice he has made for this country. As for corruption, your stereotype corruption and all those things, what this country have lost. Thank you very much for creating a very nice swimming pool for us now. Very beautiful swimming pool.
There's a case of that you people went and stole the contractors' working equipment. So
Iron
bless.
cement.
Whoever went and stole the iron rod.
Wait. Was there cement there?
Wait.
Yeah.
Saka, what do you mean?
Iron rod
Was nothing there. That
they
place.
stole and then they stole.
So that's why the construction of
Bless.
the Saka
Bless.
No, I'm saying yesterday.
It was like pieces of land.
Saka thinks that the people listening to him, it's like that only the four of us talking. The people are listening to him.
Oh, there's a petition.
Wait a minute. You have put soldiers at the place. You had cordon off the place.
It was cordon off.
And the cordon off the
broke
place
into
with the soldiers around it. And
Every day, soldiers should
your
get around
story
it.
is that some people are going to steal iron rod. That shows how competent your government is.
How chivalry you people are rather. Because the place has been cordoned off, and you still broke into it.
I take serious offense in saying that we are thieves. Saka.
Of course, I mean, why?
Saka.
Because there's a petition for this. Let me show you the petition.
The petition.
When was the iron rods going to be used anyway? When
go to the place right now.
When was you stolen?
Yesterday, when you invaded the place.
When is the iron rods going to be used?
When you people invaded the place.
You stole the iron rods.
You stole.
Is there any use for these iron rods?
Of course, I mean they are doing the foundation and other.
The foundation still
$58 million.
Right.
$58 million.
Thank you so much. Our time is far spent. Our time is far gone. Yesterday, the National Democratic Congress, they held a protest against the EC across all of the EC's district offices in the country. So all the 16 regions of Ghana, there were protests. We are looking at that shortly. But the EC, they have released a press statement. They released it this dawn at 1 a.m. That was when the EC released the press statement. If we can display the press statement from the Electoral Commission on our screens, I'll read it. It says, response to NDC's petition following demonstration on Tuesday, 17th September. The Electoral Commission has received the petition submitted by the National Democratic Congress at the end of their demonstration on Tuesday, 17th September 2024. The Commission will review the petition and provide its response in the coming days. The Commission wishes to assure the general public that the process of producing the final register is in its early stages. The Commission is mindful that the voters' register is the bedrock of credible, fair, and transparent elections. We assure the NDC and all stakeholders of our avowed commitment to delivering a credible and robust final register ahead of the December 2024 elections. In the meantime, our doors remain open. We look forward to engaging the NDC on their concerns. Thank you. Signed, Samuel Tete, Deputy Chairman Operations of the Electoral Commission of Ghana. So this is the press statement that the Electoral Commission issued in response to the protest by the National Democratic Congress, which took place across the country. Ambassador Sampiale is here. He actually was part of the protest yesterday. Generally, what I see that it went well. At least I can say that for the Greater Accra region. I hear there was some, skirmishes and disturbances in the Ashanti region, but the other regions, everything went very well. Ambassador Sampiale.
Well, thank you, sir. Bless. Yesterday, the National Democratic Congress proved beyond all reasonable doubt that is the most matured political organization, most coordinated political organization, and the most reliable political organization. You see, Bless, you might be younger than I am, but I am telling you that apart from Kwame Nkrumah's time and Jerry Rawlings' time, no demonstration has taken place simultaneously in all the 16 regions well coordinated in this country before. No. But for those people in Ashanti who were scared about what they saw and at all costs had to create a scene, nothing would have gone amiss. We saw the police people standing there. They were not even, some of them were not even with a baton or even a stick. Nobody engaged them or misbehaved. We were just on a peaceful demonstration. What were we demonstrating against? We are demonstrating against a problem which the NPP also sees as a problem. That is, we want a very credible register. Bless. I have always disagreed with the principle that elections are won at the police station. If you say that elections are won at the police station, that means that you are looking at election as an event. But election is never an event, it's a process. And along the process chain, if you are not careful, you'll be done in, you will lose the election before the election day. So we have got a lot of examples that has put to us that this time we need to be extra careful. It started with the 2016-2020 elections. Bless. You remember that in Ashanti region, people were arrested with pre-printed thumbprints, ballot papers. Do you remember that? The police said they have arrested those people. To date, the investigation reports have not come out. People have been left to go with such heinous election infraction, like pre-printed ballots. Then again, in the 2020 election, we sent our agent to the printing house. They had finished. They have signed off. Only for one of them to say that, oh, I left my laptop, so I am going to the printing house to see what has happened. Bless, you know what he saw? They saw the printing house with some agents of some political parties busily loading some other printed documents. When they counted 1 million extra votes, ballot papers printed. When we asked them, they said, oh, they are envisaging a runoff, and therefore they want to be proactive. That's fine. But bless, if 4 of us contest the election, and there's going to be a runoff, would it be for all of us? No. It will be for the first two, the two of you who
so there
came.
Are two faces on the ballot.
So the idea that you had printed for all the contesting candidates was not tenable. You understand what I'm saying? So again, we took note of that. Then we were wondering why at an election in this country, we know the demographics. NDC has a stable membership, NPP has a stable membership, right? One candidate should win 1 million votes, almost 1 million votes extra. We studied that. And we studied why, with a little vigilance in 2020, it came down to 500. Are you following what I'm saying?
Yep.
500,000, thank you. So the NDC has been consistent in monitoring what the EC is saying. Unfortunately, anytime we went to the EC and want to talk about, the EC became a problem. And you know that her fracas was said in Katia. So we said, okay, fine. Now, charity begins at home. Let us be extra vigilant. Let us be extra purposeful with the kind of people we appointed at our elections department. The Electoral Commission is expected by law to submit the proposed voters register to political parties before the exhibition of the voters register. Not so. Now, we had it less than 16 hours before the exhibition of the voters register. The understanding, therefore, would have been that if we were that incompetent, we would not have been able to track or trace anything.
Especially within that short period.
Within that short period. Now, if we study the incidence of the areas where unauthorized transfers have been made, it follows a certain pattern that they had targeted some MPs not to be going to parliament. They had targeted Okujato Abrako's place. Right? They had targeted Haruna Idris's constituency. They had targeted Atu Fossen, Jumaku, and a few others. That is where the massive issues happened. All right. So quickly, overnight, our election directorate was able to overcome such challenges, and they brought out the list. Fortunately for us, when we took it to the EC, they didn't refuse it. They said we were right. Coupled with the fact that for the first time, in spite of the heavy security, both physical and electronic security at the EC, some electronic machines connected with the elections have been stolen. BVDs have been stolen. And we suspected that some people had been given those machines to be doing the registration, because you can do the registration offline. As soon as it's connected to online, it would upload whatever. But have you gotten what I'm saying so far? So we said, okay, we are not only interested in the arithmetic additions or transpositions that you have made. In Pusiga, a person of the Electoral Commission has been suspended or interdicted because he has caused transfers without transfers on his own. But the Electoral Commission system is not like that. Bless. Pan-African television, your system is made so much that anybody who goes in the system will know who went into the system, at what time he went into the system, and what he did on the system. No, so look, you don't know what the modern systems are, the tracking mechanism. And the Electoral Commission system is not a standalone system. It's an integrated system built by the Israelis for Ghana. Right? So if that man could do that at Pusiga, then who gave him approval to skip all the protocols? Okay? Again, who gave him the authorization? Because if you want to initiate any action on the system, you go through certain protocols, right? The system will ask you, why are you doing the changes? Okay? Then the system will tell you, escalate to the next, from Pusiga, it will go to Tamale, the regional director. From regional director, it has to come to Accra for final approval by the director of elections. Before that, such actions can be done on the machine system. So if it has been done in Pusiga, people's votes have been ballot has been transferred from there without their consent and other places, then it means that the system of EC has been compromised. That is the cyber security conclusion anybody with average common sense in ICT will tell you. So if a major system like the Electoral Commission system has been compromised to admission, again, today as we speak, nobody trusts the Electoral Commission and its commissioners. Nobody trusts them because they are of their close proximity to the MPP. And such things have happened. Bless. What have we done wrong by asking that a forensic audit should be done on the system? What have we done wrong? Especially when it's not the first time. Especially it's not the first time. Even if it's the first time, don't we have the right to ensure that Ghana, we are going to an election, and to avoid all the crises other African countries have faced, we have to go into this election with free mind, that whoever will lose will be happy that we have lost. We say there's a problem with EC. You also agree that there's a problem with EC. But then MPP all of a sudden has turned itself into the super public relations outfit of the EC. They have taken to the high hills. Now defending EC is an independent organization. When Samia Wuku went and attacked STL, you remember STL? Is it STL, the Israeli company at Roman Ridge, that was housing the EC system with the youth of MPP. We didn't see anything wrong with that. When you were complaining about the same voters register, Peace Council was complaining, everybody was complaining. They petitioned John Mahama, and the Mahama said, no, as far as I'm concerned, EC is independent, and I don't want to interfere in their affairs. The political parties should go and sit down and deal with the EC for corrections. And this was done. You remember Justice VCRAC Crab, that old man was commissioned, and they came out with a result. What is wrong with the NDC doing this? Yet the NDPP and the EC will not agree. So we decided, that's all right, fine. We will then show to the world that we are capable of doing what they think we cannot do. And this is a fair warning to all of us as Ghanaians. Those of us who are beneficiaries of this system and therefore does not see anything wrong, right? The NDC and other Ghanaians are prepared, and we are so prepared that we are not going to the 2024 elections with a corrupt register. And what they seek to avoid would happen. What they seek to avoid would happen if the Electoral Commission is not asked to do what is needful. Civil society is talking. Last time I heard one Church of Pentecost chairman, the retired one, who was almost made the vice president of Dr. Bawumia. Yeah. Osofu, we all respect you. We all respect you. But be careful how you comment on political issues, because of where you believe. See, everybody has a political party he support. But you see, the chief imam cannot do open politics. The chief imam will not do it because it is against the ethics of religious leadership so to do. So Osofu, I beg you, we don't want to start talking about you in a bad way. Last time, it was your other brother who was saying that he's been bribed with brown envelopes and the dogs were going to be allowed. When he was asked to show which politicians, he chickened out until his own PR came and said, oh, no, Osofu, you are lying. You threw the money. You know, why is it that under this government, everything wrong is being made to look right? Why so? Why so? Today, a Muslim can change into a Christian overnight. A Muslim now go to Juju for fortification for elections. Today, I mean, people do not see anything wrong destroying our environment. The last time I heard you talking about the Pra River, not so. Today, our environment has been destroyed. Today, of all places to end, bless. Osam Jeffo Kwame Nkrumah's Ohinijan's Ghana. We don't even have one stadium capable of hosting grade D of African sports. A bay. Why are we here?
Right. Thank you very much, Ambassador Sampi. Ali Saka.
Yeah, thank you very much. Bless.
Saka, is the MPP concerned about the voters register? Do you have any issues with it?
Of course. I mean, if you look at the history of this country, and especially the democratic history of this country, we have moved since 1992 when we promulgated the Constitution. The MPP, and you know, I mean, let's be honest, you know, in democracy, election is one of the important embodiments. And therefore, in order to ensure that the people's will is expressed, you need a strong electoral commission. In order to ensure that the people's will is expressed, you need a robust, a register with integrity and all that. And over the years, in the electoral process, it has always been the MPP that ensures that the register is robust, the electoral processes are transparent and all those things. Whilst in government or even outside government, this biometric that we are talking about, it was an MPP. In 2012, we even had to attempt to do demonstration when the NDC through Asiri Nketiah and Co were saying that we are agitating for biometric registration of the register because at the end of the day, I mean, it will cause cancer and all those things. The NDC used all manner of excuses to run away from that. And indeed, in that election, Jomama, somewhere in the northern region, when people were and as part of the CIA says that no verification, no vote. And some people were not being able to verify. Jomama said, oh, everybody should go and vote, or let's go ahead and vote and stop this biometric thing. He said all those. So I'm saying that from biometric to ensuring that foreigners are not part of our registration and all those things, it has always been the MPP who fights you know, for the strengthening of the register. The NDC wanted to lose. In most cases, they always want the electoral process to be loose so that they can take advantage of. So we are concerned if the register is not good. First of all, I mean, before I even go there, you know, when your mama was inciting the soldiers to do coup because he knows that, he cannot take this government through the ballot. He has forgotten that his spokesperson, I mean, the party spokesperson, Sami Jemfi, had once said that the soldiers, their stay in the army was conterminous to the MPP. So they themselves have forgotten that they have maligned the soldiers already, and have told the soldiers that if you allow MPP out of power, the very day MPP is out of power is the very day you people will also be in the military.
Oh, no, please.
I don't understand that.
Oh,
please, no.
You've forgotten.
I don't understand that.
You've forgotten. Sami Jemfi didn't say this.
No.
Oh, then go. I'm not here. You see, of course, that's what they said. I am mentioning names.
That the very day the NDC leaves power.
That's the very day some of the military people stay will be. I mean, their status as soldier men or army will also end. He said
but does any government have those powers?
But you should. That is the absurdity of their claim. These days you have been hearing them all over the place. When we come, we will do this, and you could see the ignorance flowing out of them anytime they make those assertions. So after the NDC, we know who they are. You see, they can make noise and all that. Look, for register MPP, we are not against good register. But you see, when my father, Ambassador Sam Piale, was talking, made the point that the MPP is the most matured, organized, the NDC is the matured, organized, and all that. I mean, how can an NDC be a matured political party? A political party where in every turn of the way they have goofed. They cannot even collect their own resource. A matured political party, even in their own internal elections, they could not even do it well, leading to Communal Dufour writing a long, a petition. You've forgotten.
It's not the same. Isn't
Wait. No.
Election that. Wait. Isn't that out of the same internal election?
Oh, wait.
The movement for change.
Oh, I mean, they. I mean, they have always run away every election. So for them, it is their favorite pastime to resign from the party and all that. I mean, so let me
respond.
But that one is not news. I mean, the movement for change going out of. I mean, it's not news. You see, the only credible aspect of the movement for change is Kwame Osudanso, but he cannot save them. But you see, I am saying that he said they are much matured. But if you look at their utterances, the head itself is so rotten. Utterances. A president with of assault, a former president with assault, would not stoop so low with some of the comments that come out of his mouth.
Like what?
Inciting military into junta, I mean to take arms and overthrow a constitutional regime. Some of the things, insulting pastors, they are hypocrites. Insulting malams, that when Bamia go there. I mean, you see, so, no, I mean, it's factually correct that people should be angry with your mama for calling pastors hypocrites, for calling imam and chiefs hypocrites.
Where did he say this?
Oh, you want to know where?
Yes, I know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, go. You just go. You just go.
I've heard people say this.
Didn't you see the tape?
I've heard people from the MPP say, but I've not listened to it. Today I'll take time to
listen to it.
So please.
He used the word omoye in tree, which means hypocrite, and he called the MPP abaifun. When indeed there's no any useless government ever in our history than the NDC that plunged this country 4 good continuous years of doomsday. apart from that, look at the number of people that have been. I've made that point already. So, even to the extent that Asiedu Ketia himself, after he went to the Supreme Court to disgrace himself, when he was asked a question, where are your figures? My lord, I left them in the house. You left the figures in the house and you came to the Supreme Court with a big calculator to come and calculate some other people's figures. And he himself confessed that, Charlie, when we were going to see Charlie Chikata, it was so embarrassing. Charlie Chikata said, move figures no corner. You see, this was after the hen has come home to roost. So I am saying this is not maturity. So if you are looking for mature political parties, you don't go looking for the NDC. Because look at your mama. Compare, the decency of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to that of Mahama in terms of utterances, decorous. You were introducing the show. You said that those who text should be decorous and those things. It means that John Mahama cannot even be a texter in Pan Africa TV. That's how it means. He can't text because his text will be rejected because of some of the things that come out of her, that he spews out. So I am saying that you see, in the past, you see, let's not laugh over this. This is a serious matter. In the past, so really. Yeah. In the past, when we told the NBC, the Electoral Commission that.
So what are the issues with this register? You are admitting that.
No. So you are not stated. No problem. I come there.
I'm not 2 minutes to end.
5 minutes is enough. You see, I'm saying that in the past, when we accuse the Charlotte Osei-led Electoral Commission of the fact that the register was not good for good for purpose. Fit for purpose. We actually tried the matter in court. Abu Ramadan 1 and 2 and others, and indeed the court agreed with us. And when we said that the Electoral Commission should audit, should have a forensic audit of the register, they did not do it too. He sit here and say that they did it. That VCR E-CRAP committee. The committee asked the MPP to come and explain. The Electoral Commission set a committee led by VCR CE-CRAP. And the NPP went there and then explained our point that there are some Togolese names, some Burkinabes and other, and that mar the integrity of the register and all those things. They look at it, and the committee says that, the point that we are making is out of place, and therefore they did not do anything about it. And they even said that they cannot, even the courts. You remember when Abu Ramadan case, for instance, people who register with National Health Insurance and those, the matter went to court. The court says that if there are options, it is the Electoral Commission, because the Electoral Commission is closed, which the constitutional obligation or right to do registration for referenda, general elections and all that, and that nobody or entity or individual or authority can take that right away from them. So if the NDC thinks that there's a problem with the register, and the register was actually exhibited, it is the reason the register was exhibited. Now look at the disgraceful part. You who have much proof. The NDC that says that, there is a problem with the register, the Electoral Commission say, okay. You are a political party worth of salt that has ever been in power before. Bring your evidence so that we can solve the problem. He said, no, I won't give you the evidence. Look. Meanwhile, in the MPP case, the committee was set for us to provide the evidence. Right. Listen.
We have just 1 minute.
We went there and provided the evidence, but the committee says that the evidence was not good enough for us to get the required remedy that we wanted. So I am saying that they can do whatever that they want to do. The forum
is not in going to steal, you know, cathedral materials in the name of, you know, doing demonstration. The forum for you to get your redress is to go to courts.
Right.
Or to ensure
I want to find out from you. Saka, I want to find out from you.
Or to ensure that you go to IPAC.
Saka, has the NPP detected any problem with the register?
Yeah, problems were detected during the exhibition.
Okay.
You know, some of the
What are some of them?
And listen. Do you know that some of the problems that the NDC is banding around, they didn't discover those things.
So who discovered them?
The NDC were not the people that actually discover some of the things that happen in Kusiga and other places.
The NPP discovered.
The EC itself discovered some of them.
Oh,
and
so
some individuals. Listen.
What problems does the NPP have with the register? That's what I want to find out.
I'm saying that the problem that we had with the register was about the individuals. Some people listen. Some people, when their names were not there, and those people had a form was given to them, they had to fill. The data commission,
so that was rectified.
That was rectified, and indeed, all the problems that the NDC said some people identified had been rectified. The data commission said that all the problems that you are shouting, you know, attacking national cathedral. You see, this is even to me as a Muslim, I think that it is the disgrace on Christianity. For people to go to the national cathedral.
Which national cathedral?
National cathedral sites.
Which national cathedral?
Oh no, the sites. And they did what they did. It's like stamping on Christianity. Oh, you see, so
which national cathedral?
No, I mean, we all know the sites.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So the NDC should come and apologize.
Thank you, Saka. Before I come to you, I'll read a few messages. I beg you. This one here says, good morning, Bless. In fact, I'm so happy with the nomination of KOD as running mate to Alan. Even though I'm not a member of the Butterfly Movement, I see it as a positive political decision made by the leader of the movement. I wish him all the best. You go on to say, Bless, Saka has seen that his party is losing the 2024 election, so he's so tensed in himself to the extent that he can't... okay, I'll read that one. Okay, but he makes unfounded statements against NDC and Sami Jemfi. All right, thank you so much for your message. Good morning, Bless. The young want to learn from your panelists to be patriotic citizens, not for someone coming to the studio to say JM did this over 8 years for us to recall, but vehemently denying the very things they just did yesterday. Are they serious at all? Enough of the MPP party defending the EC. Evans sent this from Zebela in the Upper East region. Thank you, Evans. Good morning to the people of Zebela. Many thanks for doing the watching. Mr. Host, kindly ask the NPP man whether he heard Dr. Baumia, the failed economist, described ex-President Mahama as an empty barrel. Asanko from Santa Maria sent this one. Let me proceed to some more messages. This one says, special greetings to Ambassador Sampi Ali Saka. I beg you. Good morning to you, Dr. Enusa. Dr. Enusa, please kindly. Good morning to you, Bless, and panelists. Kindly ask Saka how he deals with his conscience whenever he berates John Mahama. As a senior citizen from the north, I always feel very sad for what has become of some young persons from that part of our country. They are disgraced for the want of appropriate description. Okay, thank you so much for your message. Please do not call the text line. Don't call. Just leave a message. I can't receive your call. Okay, this one says, I think these MPP communicators are coached to say what they have been saying in almost all media stations this morning. They have been saying that NDC could not even collate their own results. Is it the duty of the NDC to collate results in this country? By Abdul Razak from Tamale. Thank you, Abdul Razak, for your message. Good morning, Bless. Please, you guys now turn Pan-African television to a playing ground. No, it is not. People like Saka shouldn't be here. Of course, Saka will come. Right. Thank you so much for your message. I mean, opinions differ, and so that's why we are able to accommodate all the opinions here on the platform. Good morning, Pan-African TV. Okay. I'm sorry, I can't read your message. Please, I mentioned decorum when I introduced the show. Please, if you insult, I cannot read your message. Okay, this one here. says, good morning, Bless. Help me read this to Saka. He should stop the jandam. JDM never ever said that. From Moses, ask Saka to talk about the National Cathedral swimming pool and stop calling Mahama. Okay, thank you so much for your message. When I watch Saka talking, I see nothing but hypocrisy and propaganda from his stomach. Let's rule out the submissions of Saka. All right, thank you so much. Mohammed Misbahudin says, Bless, tell Saka that Baumia will lose this election, period. John Mahama all the way. Mohammed in Techiman sent this one. Ghana Man says, these countries are suffering. They are suffering, the second poorest people living in the world with all their resources. You are talking about Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. Okay, thank you. Gradually, Saka is losing credibility due to his amateurish way of making his analysis. It's high time he realizes that they are highly discerning minds. He should listen to words of wisdom from Ambassador Sampiale, and it shall be well with him now and forever. Maria Adam. Maria Adam says Saka Baumia will lose whether he visits all the shrines in the world or not. Galamsey alone is enough reason for which the MPP must go, because all the kingpins are from your party. So far, Nsako says, good morning, Pan-African TV. Good morning, so far. Pedro, good morning, Pan-African TV. You are live and clear inside Kumasi Town or so, Kesben Junction. Okay, thank you. Mohammed Misbahudin says, whether the Electoral Commission likes it or not, will force them to do a forensic audit of the register. Mohammed, John Mahama, all the way. All right, thank you. Let me now come to Dr. Ramsey Yunusa.
Yes. From a Ghanaian perspective, and of course, a perspective that we deem as the way forward for our country in resolving our electoral disputes and issues, coupled by the duopoly of the MPP and the NDC. I mean, if you look at the First Republic of Ghana, right, under the First Republic, this is the genesis of our election nearing. The Minister for Local Government was the one in charge of elections. We didn't have an EC then. Then in 1968, by virtue of the Cerebral Committee, we had an interim electoral commission, right, set up by Justice Crabb. And then fast forward, in 1971, we had formally an EC established. But within this period, 68, and even before 68, in the 1996 coup, one of the reasons why Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown was due to electoral issues. That the opposition then accused the Nkrumah government of not being transparent in conducting elections. So clearly we have transformed as a country. I mean, we have moved from anachronistic problems that we had in the past to now, I would say, contemporary problems facing our electoral body. And none of these two dominant parties are proposing any solution, a Ghanaian solution, a solution that will not havoc chaos in this country, right? Because if you look at the Afrobarometer report, Ghanaians are beginning to lose interest in democracy, which is dangerous for our country and the tenets of democracy that we claim to uphold to, right, as a governance system. And so going into this election, a lot are sick. And bless, if you look at the history of our electoral process, we went from voting in opaque ballot boxes to now transparent ballot boxes, from manual verification now to biometric verification. But there is a core issue that none of these political parties are willing to solve. And let me tell you, and this is an issue that Honorable Alan Kodo Tramante and we, the members of the Movement for Change, have seen and have, I mean, adequately addressed it with a fantastic policy recommendation. The appointment process of the EC chairperson and then the commissioners of the EC. That is the core of the issue here. That is the core of the issue here. Because I can tell you for a fact, without any equivocation, that the EC is made up of pro-MPP and pro-NDC people. Yes, the EC is polarized. We have pro-MPP and pro-NDC people who house the EC. And that is why today, when you have commissioners and directors of the EC that are part of were former members of the MPP, and some were TESCOM patrons, then of course it raises a lot of eyebrows, and there is a reason for a mistrust in the process. If you have an EC that today, when electoral devices were missing, if not for the media and then some political parties, including ourselves, that came out to speak against it, they would not have admitted that these machines were indeed missing. So going forward as a country, what the people of Ghana want to see is a non-partisan approach to the appointment of these persons, and then a legislative instrument to ensure that persons that uphold these offices do not have a history of a partisan affiliation. Right? And so Honorable Alan Kodo Tramante is proposing that we create a bicameral parliamentary system, and by meaning of that, we bring in a second chamber. That second chamber will be an apolitical chamber. So today, you bless, you belong to the media. You have a representation there. Trade unions would have a representation there. Traditional authorities would have their representation there. Faith-based organization would have their representation there. And of course, the CSOs, which we deem as the fifth estate of the political realm, would also have their representation there. So that these independent entities and apolitical entities would have the core mandate to appoint, right, and nominate these heads of various independent constitutional bodies like the EC. And under Article 45 and 46 of the 1992 Constitution, 46 deeming that the EC has to be independent and must not allow itself, right, to be manipulated and controlled by any persons. But what do we see? If you have people like Bosman Asari in the EC who are known MPP people, are you telling me that the president, Alhaji Baumia, and his people cannot influence the outcomes of the election? Is that what people are telling me? Bless. If you have a son and you put your son in a certain position, government position, of course there will be some form of influence because you would have power to influence him. That is what we are talking about. And we've seen that every time there's a new government, there is also a new EC boss. And we've realized that it is quite conterminous with the tenure of the political party in power. Right? And we are saying that we need to eradicate this because it might be, right, we are going into an election and gradually Ghana is losing its desire for democracy. And if we are not able to solve these issues fundamentally once and for all, it would be cataclysmic to our democracy. And we want to assure the people of Ghana that since the inception of our fourth republic, none of these two dominant parties have been able to ensure that we have absolute constitutional amendment. Because they know why they don't want to amend this constitution. They know what is in the constitution that they are enjoying. Honorable Alan Kodo Tramante, who is a bona fide patriot of this land, and of course a Pan-Africanist, and a leader that cares for the people, and a leader that wants to transition this country for we the youthful people, wants to solve our issues once and for all. And so when I hear the debate of the NDC and the MPP, what I hear is hopelessness. that there is no inspiration coming from the argument. We are not hearing solutions. You want an audit. Fair enough. There should be an audit. But what is the fundamental problem? Bless. What is the fundamental problem? If Charlotte Osei was the current EC boss, I am not sure the NDC would have called for an audit. They would have solved these issues in a different way. Similarly, if Charlotte Osei was the EC boss and the MPP was in opposition and this happened, we would hear the same thing. And anytime there's an election, we hear the same, I mean, we're caught up with the same deja vu. We can't go forward as a country like this. That the future of this country depends on only these two parties. No. So Honorable Alan Kojo Tramantin has proposed a solution. And to the people of Ghana, this is the best way forward. And we also have to change our mindset. Because for a while, we have allowed these two dominant parties to take us for a ride. And the current economic woes and predicaments and governance inefficiencies, right, are a reflection of our attitudes and our mindset as Ghanaians. And if we do not change our mindsets, these two dominant parties will continue to take us for a ride, and we will not see that optimum social and economic development we want to see in our lives and the lives of our people. So bless, we want to hear solutions from the MPP and the NDC. And on a lighter note, Saka made a statement about we losing an election. And anytime I hear these, for want of a better word, pedestrian argument from the MPP, I mean, I laugh over it. Because, for the record, Honorable Alan Kojo Tramantin never contested any election. He never ever contested any election. If at all, right, if at all, he has done just to the people of Ghana by leaving a nepotic, corrupt, right, and clueless government to meet the needs of Ghanaians that they want a change. And of course, Ghana is bigger than any political party. And we uphold to the Ghana First agenda. But what do we see? People sit here and defend their party at the expense of their nation. Is that how we want to continue as a country? And that has been 32 years now. And we have been continuing with these kind of politicking that is not enjoying any benefit to the people of Ghana. And so to the people of Ghana, the sovereignty of this country lies in your hands. These two dominant parties are where they are because of us. And we can indeed enact that change we want to see if we first and foremost admit that these two dominant parties have failed us for 32 years, that these two dominant parties have managed corrupt regimes since the inception of our Fourth Republic, and these two dominant parties indeed are detrimental to our democracy. And that is why the Afrobarometer report is vindicating this statement I'm making, that the desire for democracy is decreasing in this country. And I beg the people of Ghana that we need indeed to look beyond our differences in terms of our tribal, religious, and social facets and look at the collective interest of Ghana. Let's look at the collective interest of Ghana. That Ghana needs our help. And for Ghana to change, we have to change. And we have to change with a leader. A leader, not a political party. No country on the planet Earth, on this planet, was built by a political party. No. All developed countries, successful countries, were built by the vision of a leader. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in 1949 left the UGCC, which he helped grow, and formed the CPP, fought for our independence and political freedom, and ensured that Ghana was rising. We had a lot of challenges along the way. Halfway we've been dominated by the duopoly of the MPP and the NDC. Today, the same history has repeated itself. That we have a reincarnation of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and the person of Honorable Alan Kojo-Tramantin, who has left the MPP and is seeking to ensure that Ghana has its economic independence. And that the youth, we the youthful people that are suffering as a result of the corrupt regimes that we've had in this country since the inception of our Fourth Republic, would have a better place in this country, so that we would not look elsewhere for greener pastures, that Ghana will be our home full of opportunities for us, irrespective of our tribal affiliation, religious affiliation, or political ideology.
Right, thank you very much, Dr. Ramsey Inusa. No, you cannot. I'm sorry. Unfortunately. Next time, come early. Yes, please.
No, but no.
No. No, it's 10. It's 10. And so another program has to run. It's 10 a.m. I'm sorry. No, I won't. Because of the time. If you had come on time, if we had started at 8 a.m., we would have been able to complete this. Thank you very much, Sir Kasalia. Thank you, Dr. Ramsey Inusa. Thank you, Ambassador Sampiale. And to you, our cherished viewers. All the messages that I couldn't read, I'm very sorry. Good morning to Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm. You sent a message. Unfortunately, my time is up. I couldn't read. To Mr. Stephen Payne, thank you so much for always tuning in. And to all our cherished viewers across the country and the length and breadth of the universe, thank you. Do have a pleasant day. Bye-bye.